Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into just the first chapter of a massive fantasy epic, and we're going to see how in just a few pages it builds an entire world, sets up a huge conflict, and introduces us to a whole cast of unforgettable characters.
So how is that even possible? This first chapter really is a masterclass in world building. It manages to pull us into a brand new world without just dumping a ton of information on us. We're going to explore how the author brilliantly weaves together culture, character, and conflict to create this incredibly rich experience, right from page 1.
The chapter kicks things off by showing us this deep cultural divide. And it doesn't do it through politics or some big battle, but through something way more fundamental: faith.
And you can really see the difference laid out right here. In the south, you've got gods with names and faces, worshipped in these beautiful, bright gardens. But the north, it's the complete opposite. They worship these nameless, faceless gods in a dark, ancient forest. This isn't just about religion. It tells us these are two fundamentally different cultures.
And the way we get to see this culture clash is through the eyes of Catelyn Stark. See, she was born a Southerner, and now she's in this land of grim, stoic people where even the gods feel ancient and, well, kind of creepy. And then, in stark contrast, pun intended, you have her husband, Lord Eddard Stark. This is a man who absolutely embodies that silent strength of the North. So when we first meet Ned, where is he? Not on a throne, but alone in that same spooky godswood, cleaning his ancestral sword, ice. And this sword is a huge deal. It's 400 years old, made of Valyrian steel, which is basically magic metal. This one simple action tells us everything. This is a man of duty, of tradition, and he is deeply connected to his harsh northern home.
And it's in this quiet, solemn moment that he says those words, the iconic motto of his house. But you know, unlike the mottos of other families, this one isn't a boast. It's a warning.
Think about that. Winter is coming isn't a threat they're shouting at their enemies. It's a constant reminder to themselves. It's a whole philosophy, a mindset of vigilance and preparation that just perfectly defines the pragmatic, no-nonsense North.
Okay, so with that Stark code in mind, let's jump back to Catelyn and see how all this looks through her southern eyes.
Even as she's going to find her husband, Catelyn can't shake this feeling of being watched by the face carved into the heart tree. It's this deeply unsettling feeling that just highlights that cultural divide, one that exists between her and the North, and maybe even between her and the man she loves.
And this is the moment everything changes. The quiet, personal world of Winterfell is about to be shattered by news from the outside world.
Catelyn finds Ned, and you can just feel the shift in tone. She has news that she knows will absolutely break his heart. It goes from solemn and quiet to urgent and full of grief.
And with just those few words, bam! The fragile piece that has held the realm together for years is completely shattered. Lord Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King, is dead.
And you have to understand, this is so much more than a political death. Jon Arryn was basically a second father to Ned. He was the man who raised both Ned and the future king, Robert. He's the guy who literally started a rebellion to save their lives. His death is truly the end of an era.
But wait, it gets even more complicated. The news of Jon Arryn's death, that's just the first domino to fall. The next piece of news is what's going to drag the isolated North right into a political firestorm.
And Catelyn delivers this news in layers, like one punch after another. First, there's the grief. Then, the absolutely stunning news that the king himself is riding all the way to Winterfell. And finally, the really big complication. He's bringing the queen and her family, the Lannisters.
And this moment right here shows you everything you need to know about the difference between Ned and Catelyn. He's excited. He's thinking about seeing his old friend again. But her? She's filled with this dread coiled within her like a snake. She senses a dangerous political threat coming right to their door.
Catelyn says this simple line, and you just feel the scale of what's happening. It's not just the king coming for a visit. The entire political world, the whole messy game, is about to descend on their quiet northern home. Their life as they know it is over.
So, by the end of this one single chapter, look at all the seeds of conflict that have been planted. We've got hints of some supernatural threat up north, we have political scheming on the horizon, and just this deep, deep sense of foreboding.
And so we're left with this huge question, one that's going to hang over everything that happens next. Is this royal visit an honor, or is it a death sentence? It's just a masterful way to set the stage for all the epic conflict to come.